experts have had their say, the coaches have had their say, and now it's up to the 30 players on the field plus their replacements. There is an absolute crescendo of drumming going on here at Ellis Park. They've issued 25,000 little drums, they call djembes, amongst the crowd, and they're all beating them in unison with the guys here in the middle of the field. There's still about 10,000 people to come into the ground. Already the noise is deafening, and we wait now for the 11th International at Ellis Park and the 64th International since 1921. 83 years these two rugby mad countries have been battling against one another, and here we are at Ellis Park for the 11th test that they have played at this famous ground. Joel's been up in studio, he's down with me now. It's great to have him with me, and I get to a point where I can hardly speak.
Well, I think the whole emotion of a day like this, the tradition, the rivalry, all the cultures that come in, it really is a spectacular day. And of course, you can see by some of the empty seats, the crowd struggling to get in here, a little bit of a last-minute panic. And I'm sure those people still outside will be rushing to get in. But you can see the atmosphere, spectacular, absolutely spectacular.
Well, those people are seeing themselves on the screen, and so we'll just have a look at the team sheets now. The New Zealand side, Graham Henry, the New Zealand coach, has made 3 changes in his side, and they have 448 test caps in their team. If you take out Umanga, Mertens and Marshall, it's pretty even amongst the two sides, and those 3 players could make a big difference. But here's the South African side, where Jake White has brought in Bokke at scrum half. He's also moved Gerrie Brits from lock to flank. Victor Matfield comes into that position in the lock situation, and of course Joe van Niekerk goes in at the number 8. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Bokke works with Joe van Niekerk at the back of the scrum. That's going to be very important. Barry and Joubert are there. In fact, it's the Paul Gimmy back 3 there with De Villiers, Joubert and David Barry.
And of course, it'll be interesting to see how 1 or 2 of the players who've not played a lot of rugby carry on today. Joe van Niekerk, the one who springs to mind. Victor Matfield coming off a little knee injury.
Well, that side with 3 changes in it, with Tui Tupo coming in for Carter at centre. Mertens, of course, for Spencer in the fly half position. And Simon Malin, who played against South Africa when he was just 22 years old, has been brought into the lock position. And Graham Henry said that was because form, where Ali Williams wasn't showing particularly great form. Watch number 12, Tui Tupo. He would talk about our pocket rocket. He's like a pocket rocket. Joe Rokothoko, the youngest player on the field this afternoon. 24 tries in 20 test matches. He will take some handling.
Certainly will take some handling, though. One man who'll try to get the ball out to him, though, is Andrew Mertens. What a selection that is, ahead of Carlos Spencer. No sign of Spencer even on the bench.
Well, interesting there, where you have Kelleher and Major, the 2 most experienced players, along with Greg Somerville. Tuiali'i, who made a huge impact in the Super 12. Newbie has only played 1 test match. And then down the left-hand side, Hanyani Shimangi waiting for his second call from Jake White, and the rest of the guys. Well, there is Mr. Nigel Williams from Wales. He'll be assisted by Donald Courtney from Ireland and Ray Maybank from England. And so the All Blacks will defend the kickoff, playing from left to right. Bakkies Botha becoming a real force in world rugby, and don't South Africa need him today. And the Freedom Cup being played for this afternoon. So Jaco van der Westhuizen will kick off the 65th International between these sides. Watch for Victor Matfield in the line out. Simon Malin there behind, or in front of Carl Heyman.
And South Africa immediately splitting up from the pack. Gerrie Brits over on this side. Most of the forwards off on the far side.
Be interesting to see if Jaco van der Westhuizen changes direction. There's Chris Jack. Well, there it is with Bokke. Back goes Marty Holler inside his 22. Big defence by South Africa, immediately crowding up the New Zealanders, and it's a penalty against South Africa. Quickly taken by Marshall. South Africa not 10 metres, and if that pass had gone to hand to Umanga, there could have been problems there. There's Muliaina.
Well, strange start from the Springboks. Jaco van der Westhuizen, they recognised, I suppose, a restart kicker. And it's Mertens with a good kick for the touchline. Great kick, in fact. But Paula Conradi with a little chip. I don't think it went exactly where he wanted it to go. Springboks got up there quickly, made the tackle and gave away the penalty. And if that ball, as you said, Hugh, had gone to hand, there's huge space down the right-hand side for Dougie Howlett.
Greens, please. Out.
So Mialamu with the throw. Jack is there. In comes Maley. Good competition by the South Africans. It's Heyman who bursts towards the 22. And it's another penalty. I had a feeling that they may have a problem at the start of this game. Nigel Williams, he has been very, very strict on ball on the ground, and Gerrie Brits is penalised, and Andrew Mertens will kick for goal.
Well, the problem is he blew the whistle so quickly there was never any chance of advantage. Gerrie Brits coming around from the side. He ultimately did come round through behind, I suppose, from the right side, but not coming through the gate. And Nigel Williams quite right in the decision, but very, very quick to blow the whistle. Well, one of the reasons Andrew Mertens has undoubtedly been selected is for his goal kicking. Daniel Carter injured. As a result of that, it's Tui Tupu who comes into the midfield. Mertens will fulfill the kicking role.
Boeing won't put him off. 951 international points and 954 now as the All Blacks go into the lead.
Perfect strike from Andrew Mertens. 3-0 to New Zealand. See what South Africa do from the kickoff this time. Bokke Conradi not there. It'll be Jaco van der Westhuizen to kick.
Mailing gain, high, good hands by him, good support there from Mialamu. Marshall, Mertens, wide now to Tupo. That's good defence by South Africa, good tackle in midfield. And it's Heyman again who gets it away. Just a bit of fumbling there by the All Blacks as South Africa crowd them, and it's been knocked on. Good scrum position for South Africa. So it was just a question of penalty, boom, 3 points down.
You know what we talked
Well,
about?
New Zealand uncharacteristically trying to now run from quite deep. Andrew Mertens a fly off. That's the pack weights. Slight advantage for South Africa. At New Zealand with the uncharacteristic Kevin Mialamu it was, I think he made the knock on.
Picked up by Joe van Niekerk as he bursts away at the defences there. Conradi gets it away for Van der Westhuizen. Barry, Montgomery, Umanga just slipped that tackle, and Howlett had to come in. Marius Joubert, that looked a bit high by Tupo. They worked it up to the 22-metre line again. Smith, good hands by him as he bursts at Mialamu. Conradi, De Villiers, opportunity here, extra men are here, but Montgomery gets it. Desperate defence by Heyman. Conradi, this is good work by South Africa. Van der Westhuizen, well read by him. John Smith again bursts and takes a couple of defenders, including Chris Jack. South Africa need to produce the ball quickly. Goes for Skalkberger, little dummy with Van der Westhuizen. Good tackle by Tui Tupo for the All Blacks, and Berger rolling over. You cannot roll over like that when you're brought to ground quickly, taken by Marshall. When you're brought to ground, you have to leave the ball go. Work here for Brayton Paulser, his first touch of the game. Decides to go open side. Has he given it too much? Well, he connected it so well. They will line out back in the South African half.
Well, so much to talk about, really. South Africa with a pretty good attacking little spurt, going through 3 or 4, 5, maybe even 6 phases. Eventually, John Smith making a lot of ground. Skalkberger giving away the penalty, but once again, New Zealand tapping on almost their own goal line. Penalties and free kicks. New Zealand 4 already. And that is something that Jake is going to be a little bit concerned about. Kevin Mialamu made the tackle on John Smith on the charge. It's a man who needs a little bit of attention still. This is where Skalkberger gave the penalty away. Well, he's not held, but you can't roll.
I had a long chat on Wednesday night with Andre Watson about this. When you go, you're brought to ground, you've got to place the ball. You cannot crawl. And so the laws are quite clear. Even if you're ankle tapped, if you're brought to ground, if you get your feet, you're fine. But if you crawl, you're gone.
Well, I think the reason for that is because you cannot dive on a player on the ground. So how do you tackle someone who's crawling or rolling?
Well, it's been knocked on by Chris Jack. Conradi referee waiting for advantage. Bokke. Well, it was such a good build-up by South Africa. Now that's their first penalty of the match. We've had 5 minutes in the game. The build-up in the All Black 22 is really good. And the All Blacks really have not had the better of the game. They lead by 3.
Well, it's a pretty good kick from Montgomery. This is the penalty coming. Skalkberger prominent again. Well, it looks like killing the ball there. It looks like Carl Heyman, yes. He is a big, tall man for a tight prop, Carl Heyman.
Well, this is the first line out for South Africa. In comes Bakkies Botha, secures beautifully. Conradi, Van der Westhuizen, Barry decides to go down that channel and does well. Desperate defence has been knocked on by South Africa. The referee says play on, advantage here for Muliaina. This is a wonderful run. Oh, the fullback's going to go all the way. He's burst 3 tackles, and the All Blacks are making South Africa pay for little mistakes.
Well, a little mistake it was. To Vet Barry trying to pop it off the floor. Skalkberger couldn't control it, and that man there has gone the distance and scored a brilliant try. Marshall again quick to clean up. Look at that, the little show. Missed tackle from Brayton Polser. And look at the pace. Look at him go. Leaving Montgomery and Polser trailing in his wake. Great score.
Let it in the middle, over the top, and a quick release. Okay.
So Muliaina scores his 9th international try. And you can see the Springboks just under the post there in a huddle. And Andrew Mertens with the conversion attempt.
Well, this is really how it started for South Africa down in Christchurch. 2 quick tries, leading comfortably. It's New Zealand who've taken the initiative here at Ellis Park this afternoon. Early penalty from Mertens. And almost a counter-attack try from the South African era. No mistake from Andrew Mertens.
Kick by Mertens.
Very disappointing start this for Springbok fans. Great start for New Zealand though. And look at this, out it came. Brayton Polser with a missed tackle, which was really what got the whole defence line into trouble, and Montgomery never had the pace to catch it. Muliaina, mind you, there's not many who've got the pace to catch Muliaina.
Montgomery just going back to prevent Muliaina from putting it under the crossbar. Marshall, Rokethoko. Good tackle by Berger. Now this is where South Africa need to try and get possession of the ball. Comes from Mertens. And Montgomery has an opportunity to counter. Van der Westhuizen. A wall of All Blacks up in defence there. Mertens is back for it. Takes the mark, plenty of time. And decides to go that way. Terrible bounce for Montgomery, but he's controlled it well. Now Van der Westhuizen, Barry on his outside. Van der Westhuizen goes for some open ground, well taken by Rokethoko. Marshall got back and told Rokethoko to run for it. And it's a penalty to South Africa. This is in a kickable position, and important that they get points on the board at this stage of the game.
Joe Rokethoko, the guilty party, not releasing on the ground here. Here he goes down to ground. Vet Barry quick to get round there. Hands on the ball, on his feet. Quite entitled to play it, and winning the penalty for the Springboks. Interesting to see the All Black tactics at the moment. Mertens has kicked the last 2 deep, and as you said, the wall of black shirts following up collectively, really leaving the back 3 of South Africa absolutely nowhere to go in terms of a counter-attack, forcing them to kick the ball. And kick it they have. Montgomery has kicked fantastically well this season. simplified his kicking style, just the 1 or 2 steps.
Well, 1 or 2 steps, drilled it, hold its line, Joe just wide, just ducked away. So disappointment rings around the ground.
Well, he struck it solidly, just probably not 100%, seemed to be drifting off to the left. A little bit of a fade almost.
Well, a lot of people say that the breeze doesn't make much of a difference. There is a breeze blowing against that kick of Montgomery. Mertens, Montgomery, Fanica. Almost had to go now. Was that a late tackle? The referee says play on as Muliaina goes again. Here's Mertens, a big tackle there by Marius Joubert. Mertens gets it away to Jack. He's covered by Bokke's Buerta.
No, it was a maul taken in by Black.
Taken in by Black, and so it's green ball.
What about the tackle from Marius Joubert? Muliaina read the situation pretty well. Big Joe, well, again, going for the kick. Going for the Oscar, certainly not getting it on this occasion. And rightly so. There's Torks van der Linde, former Springbok prop.
Tenor of note is Torks van der Linde, one of the great characters of South African rugby.
And problems there for Nigel Williams, the referee. He's got a little bit of a hamstring. Marius Joubert picture though got up there and made a fantastic tackle on Andrew Mertens. Mertens receiving the ball from Muliaina.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens here for Nigel Williams as Mertens just is getting a bit of a drink, but it's a referee where the concern is if he has to go off. Donald Courtney will take over. One of the touch judges is the reserve referee. Here's the tackle by Marius Joubert, but Mertens still did so well to get that ball away. Look at that.
The experience, that's definitely the experience, the streetwise ability of Andrew Mertens to manage to know that he can pop it up in the air and someone coming back will get there.
Well, now we have the referee being strapped up.
We got a rip. Okay, fingers crossed.
So that's a bit of a hold up now. Well, refs are pretty quick to chase people off the field who are injured. Maybe the two captains should get together and say to the ref, you must go.
Hold, please wait for the engage.
He's held up the game for some time already.
That's good. Here we go.
Fanica. Well, he got away from Marty Hollow. Now he barges it to Mertens. Hollow eventually made the tackle. Good ball for Conradi. Now Van der Westhuizen, Barry. Now South Africa need to keep the concentration. Van der Westhuizen gets it away to Jean de Villiers over on the right side of the field. Crowd baying for a penalty for a high tackle. Conradi, Van der Westhuizen had to go that way. It's Madfield. He's got men on the outside. It's Fanica. Not too much support for him. Comes in the form of Madfield. Tapped down, I think, by Tui Tupo, but the ref says no. Picked up now by Tui Tupo. He's really quite a difficult man to pull down, and the All Blacks have turned it over.
Second one was a knock-on.
Knocked on by Marshall, but Tupo did good work. He's just 1.76 meters tall and weighs 86 kgs. And the ref, listen to the crowd, the referee is going to have to come off.
Got always problems for the referee when the hamstring goes. This is how it happened here. It looked, for all money, that South Africa had a great scoring opportunity. Big Joe Fanica with a step inside. Tupo knocked it down there. The referee obviously missed it. Not in a position with his hamstring and all to see the little knockdown. Well, in fact, it came off his head. That's probably not even a knock-on anyway.
No, it's not. So Mark Lawrence from South Africa, one of the international referees, will come on as a touch judge, and the referee will be the Irishman Donald Courtney. Well, that's bad luck for Nigel Williams, disappointing for him. Donald Courtney, we saw him referee Wales against Argentina in the 2 test matches that Wales played in Argentina before they came to South Africa. He is one of those referees who, from memory, has quite a lot to say. Here is the try from Muliaina.
Scott Berger was, well, David Barry should probably not have made the 50-50 pass there. And Muliaina, once the tackle was missed, really, everyone was on the back foot. South African defence failing them for once. The defence has been very, very solid so far in 2004. Just not this time. Nigel Williams missing his hamstring. Players obviously want to get on with the game. 11 minutes gone, 10-0 to New Zealand.
Now, Donald Courtney, I did rather think is a referee unknown to South African players. So the game will get on the go again. Big scrum by New Zealand. Van Niekerk's doing good work at the back of the line. Out support from Schalk Burger at back of the scrum rather. Conradi. De Villiers at scrum half. Van der Westhuizen had put himself in that position. Well, he's not known as a drop kick specialist, Jaco van der Westhuizen, and that's certainly not his best kick.
Well, he's certainly not going to become known as a drop goal specialist, kicking them like that though. Joe van Niekerk impressive off the back of the scrum.
Montgomery. Was that knocked on? The referee says yes, it was. Muliaina committed himself to the take and it just bubbled out of his arms. I think as his elbows probably hit the ground.
Quite a good kick from Montgomery. That's where the knock-on came. You can see definitely spilling it forward and recollecting. A good kick from Montgomery into the space. Muliaina just couldn't get there.
So important they keep the scrum steady.
Well, they struggled in the last scrum.
Conradi, Van der Westhuizen, Joubert. Oh, Marius Joubert's found some space here. And they've got, look, here goes Brayton Porter. Ankle tap by Umanga. They've got to get the ball quickly here. Conradi goes, Burger. Well, now they must keep the ball alive. They've got to move it on the right-hand side. Have South Africa. Conradi. Montgomery gets it wide for John Smith. Great defence by Mialamu. Conradi again. They've got many more men. They have South Africa down on the right. Conradi goes. They must go on the right side. They've got a huge overlap. Penalty, South Africa. But one must say that they should have scored there. Xavier Rush and David Barry having a bit of an argument, but I reckon the try was on there, Joel.
No doubt the try was on. New Zealand captain Tana Umanga managed to make a vital ankle tap. Brayton Bolser went down. Oh, and the opportunity went to miss.
Well, now there seems to be a little bit of indecision here. They're waiting for a ball. First of all, what is John Smith going to decide? Having a chat now to his forwards. Van der Westhuizen goes for the little dab into touch. So obviously there is a set piece move on the go here.
Well, first question is, where do they win the line-out ball? Kiwis probably won't contest this one. They really look to sack them all or drive the South African team back.
Well called, Joel. No contesting at all. Now the big thing is, can they muscle them over the line? As they do get within 5 meters. Conradi, Van Niekerk stays up through the first tackle. He's inside the 5-meter area. Again, South Africa go hard. But now they're going right is not the correct move. And David Bay, well, Umanga makes another telling tackle as the South Africans bowl him away from the point. Matfield. They need a bit more concerted support here, do South Africa, as the All Blacks go in hard, but South Africa have retained the ball.
Well, Matfield might be counting himself a little bit lucky. Kiwis looked like they thought they had it. Tana Umanga with another big tackle. Try saving on Brayton Polser. Try saving on David Barry now. Look how quickly he gets his feet in, contests for the ball. And good cleaning out from the South African support. This is where Matfield, well, he might have been a lucky Kiwi players trying to drive it. And a little bit of attention needed there. It's the man who led the haka, Case Muse, who's down on this side.
Well, it's so important for the Springboks now to actually make ground out of this. Look at the territorial situation there, 85% to 15, and it's just been the breakouts by New Zealand. The penalty for Mertens came from 2 consecutive penalties, then the opportunist try by Muliaina, and Springboks will really need to turn these territorial situations into points. They've used Fanika at the back of the scrum with telling effect. Still they bound away and try and, well, it's over the good try line. Can somebody dig it out? And it's another scrum to South Africa. Room on the right-hand side. Now maybe it'll be time again for Fanika to pick up. But Umanga has done some unbelievable defensive work, John.
Well, we see him there coming out with the ball again under the charging Springbok. But Joe van Niekerk, so quick off the back there. He's got away from the loose forwards. He's got into the backs. Quick ball there, going wide, might have found a lot of space. Tuipulotu in there making the tackle with Umanga and saving the try. But big Joe van Niekerk looking dangerous. And of course a word for the New Zealand defence, really hanging in at the moment. Case Muse will be trying to put a lot of pressure on Eddie Andrews in the scrum now. Springboks will want a slight right shoulder, maybe even a big right shoulder if they want Big Joe to head off to the right-hand side.
Well, there he goes. Now it goes wide to Marius Jabeur. Slipped the tackle. Marius Jabeur. A telling try for South Africa. And his 5th in international rugby.
Well, we spoke about Tana Umanga and his brilliant defensive work. Sadly, though, for the Kiwi captain, it's him who misses the tackle this time. Marius Jabeur goes over for the try. And South Africa right back in the game, 10 points to 5 with a kick to come. Pretty simple, and I think what the cause of this is Big Joe van Niekerk coming around the corner, obviously holding defenders. Umanga expected to do a little too much there, slipping the tackle. And it's a very clever build-up, almost like a game of chess here. Joe van Niekerk, Joe van Niekerk, Joe van Niekerk, Joe passes, and all of a sudden a bit of space.
Yeah, great stuff by Van Niekerk at the back of the scrum. Montgomery this time is spot on. The difference now is 3 points.
And you can see all the defenders, they're really looking at Joe van Niekerk. Tana Umanga standing narrow, having to work quite hard to get wide, just not getting it right. Well beaten by Marius Jabeur.
Well, the other thing is that Joe van Niekerk is giving either Jono Gibbs or Marty Hollow, whoever packs on the left side of the scrum, a real problem. They alternate, of course, and he's got away from both of them, as has Brayton Paulsa, who put a foot in touch. So it's going to be now a throw in from the middle of the field. Look at this, Vivek Berry goes, and they won't allow it. And maybe that John Smith, who's got his hands out open. I can't hear the referee because he isn't wired up. John Smith seems to accept the referee's explanation, but you are allowed to throw the ball in from the middle of the field.
But I think you've got to call the line out, don't you? You've got to call scrum middle or line out.
No, you can run and do it.
But I think what would have happened there here is because Brayton caught the ball outside the field, touch shot's gone back, John Smith would have said kick in the middle.
Yep, that's
or scrum in the middle.
I think what would have happened. And that's another penalty to South Africa. The big question is, can Monty kick this over?
Well, he should have the distance right up there at altitude. Distance should not be a problem. He's going to have a shot.
Well, this will be exciting if he connects this correctly up here on the high felt. It could level the scores.
And John Smith had absolutely no hesitation in saying to Monty, have a go. Let's level the scores at 10-all. Best Muse it is there, who's Kiwi front row. Interesting to see what happens here. That's the tight head side for the Kiwis. What might have happened on the other side. You can see the shape of Case Muse really scrummaging in, it looked like. Hard to tell from that angle though.
And so he has kicked it good and low. And it just pulled it a fraction. Certainly had the distance and it didn't miss by much.
Well, Bessie didn't have a fantastic day out of the boot last time out. He's struggling a little at the moment. I don't know if there's much of a kick-off there.
That's going to be a scrum. There was no kick there. Xavier Rush just dropped the ball over the 22-metre line, put no boot on it whatsoever. Doug Howlett looks bemused but shouldn't do.
Well, I can't understand the All Black tactics at the moment. We really are playing a high-risk, dangerous game. I've got a player in Andrew Mertens who, what a scrum tactic, well, stat that is, 8 for South Africa and 0 for the Kiwis. But in Andrew Mertens, they've got a player who can play them up the field and really play conservative rugby and build a foundation to play on. At the moment, not building any foundation, and that's why they're struggling.
Well, the referee must have decided they slipped there. There's still a little bit of a problem there in that front row. Now, the big question is, will Fanikak pick up and go again? This time, Holle is on the left side of the scrum for New Zealand. Conradi, Van der Westhuizen, Dupere is there. Polser gives chase. Rokothoko just had to turn around. Good work there by Brayton Polser to force Rokothoko into touch.
Well, some of the true rugby pundits will be a little bemused by this. The scrum wheeled the other way. The Springboks chose to play against the wheel, but they made it work for them.
So interesting. Watch the All Black forwards to see if they can test this line-up. Nothing at all as Matfield takes a need to control the ball as Buerta tried to rip it out, but that's disappointing for South Africa. Those first phases are so vital. They won the ball and then it was ripped away and knocked on.
And it's not only the error, it's the area of the error that is so vital. Right down on your opposition's try line, 5 metres away to surrender the ball. Scoring opportunities going a begging.
So pressure now by South Africa, free kick. Osterrand is penalised. Xavier Rush dashes away at the South African forwards. Mertens. Montgomery is outside his 22. And that's not a bad kick by Percy Montgomery. Very few options there and has forced the ball back to 15 metres from the All Black 22.
Yeah, dead right, Hugh. Obviously not a lot on, but pretty good New Zealand chase again. And grubbering it up the touchline. Andrew Mertens thought about the quick throw, and Jaco van der Westhuizen got himself in a good position. And the All Blacks forced to start from deep.
Well taken by Jack Mertens. Tuipulotu wrapped up by Van der Westhuizen very quickly. That's the vital question. Can South Africa tackle the All Blacks behind the advantage line, because Mertens isn't playing as flat. Taken forward by Mialamu. Now it's at Mertens again, getting it behind Jean de Villiers and into touch. Difficult to defend those kicks.
Well, that is just an absolutely brilliant kick. Andrew Mertens knows this field pretty much as well as he knows either the one in Christchurch or the one in Auckland. And that is, oh, look at that, dropping over Jean de Villiers' head into touch. Perfectly placed. And it's South Africans who now start from deep. And that is again coming back to what we said a little earlier, building a foundation. Starting by trying to play a little bit more of a percentage game than anything else, I suppose.
Berger bashing at Rush. It's interesting that the All Blacks have not yet contested a line-out. Montgomery off the side of the boot, not in the intended direction. And he knows it.
Well, obviously a little disappointed with that. It's the All Blacks who now have the opportunity to put it in the line-out.
And it'll be interesting to see here if we have a contest from Victor Matfield in the line-out. Gerrie Brits just behind Victor Matfield as it goes again to Chris Jack. Solid work in the line-out. Mertens, that looked like it was forward. Umanga takes it to ground, and the referee will give the All Blacks a penalty as Victor Matfield is penalised.
I think it was Matfield who came from the side there, went to take out the scrum off.
At the side here.
And leaves Andrew Mertens with a pretty easy-ish penalty kick.
You see, one might say that the ball is out. So much depends on where Victor Matfield came from. If he came from behind the back feet of the men in the ruck, then he's fine. But if he came along and in at the side, it is penalisable.
Yeah, it did look like the ball was out. A straight foot seemed to be hovering near it, but it did look like it was out. And I think you're dead right here. If you come from the wrong position, you're going to be offside every single time, irrespective of where the ball is.
So Andrew Mertens is successful with that, extends his point-scoring record in the Tri-Nations for most points scored by any player. So that, when we looked at that territorial situation, the All Blacks have got in the South African half about 4 times and have scored 3.
Well, that is, of course, the key. They've come down here. Percy slipped one off the side of his boot. And next thing, they're 3 points further down. You really do need to sort the discipline out.
Stay green, stay on.
Marshall, Mertens, Tuipulotu. Well, you see him with that little step. Good tackle there by Berger, and another one there from Joe Fanika.
Hands away, green. Hands away, green.
Now you see the South Africans are not reacting quickly enough to the referee's call. Marshall, Howlett, his first touch of the game. Worked back by Jono Gibbs to Rush. Big pick up there by Chris Jack. Mertens couldn't hold on, but the referee was in the way. It touched the ref.
Touched me, scrum black.
Well, the Kiwis again being very adventurous, playing from deep. Mertens with a skip pass behind to Tuipulotu. Very flat indeed, but every time Tuipulotu steps, gets inside his man and makes that little inside pass, and the Kiwis are finding ground. Clearly coming off the referee there, Donald Courtney in the way, replacement referee. That's one of the Kiwis down. I would expect to see quite a lot of that. Well, that's a beautiful sight, isn't it?
So it is Carl Heyman who's down.
I was just about to say here, I'd expect to see... Oh, it's a big hit from Big Joe Fanika. Great tackle. Not held though, which is why Marty Holler could get straight back onto his feet and carry on. I would expect to see one of the Kiwis down every 10 to 12 minutes, getting a little breather. They've come up to altitude. They've come up, I think, from Cape Town or from the coast somewhere. And they will have the burn, and they'll need those little, almost water breaks.
Let's have it again, guys. We're going up here. And engage. Let's have it in, please. Stay bound. Stay bound. Stay.
Marshall, Mertens, Tuipulotu, Mertens. Miliaina is well tackled there, well read there by Brayton Paulsa. Conradi, and Monty's got it. Can Monty beat Howlett? He feeds on the inside. Brayton Paulsa! Try number 21 for Southport, Brayton Paulsa.
Donald Courtney's going upstairs. I'm not sure exactly why.
Well, I think what happened was that as he went down, the ball burst away from him. But I just did not, at first look, it looks like he got it down. The referee, David Chalang from Scotland.
David, can you just check the grounding of the ball for me, please? Thank you.
No problem. No, I don't think it. I think we'll see it now. Look, he's got his hands on it. He's got his hands on it. He's got his hands on it.
Well, that is...
Joel's not too sure.
I'm not too convinced about that, eh? I hate to say it looked like it almost slipped out his hands as he was diving. The question is, did he have downward pressure as it hit the ground?
No, he doesn't have to have downward pressure.
No, you're right.
He's got to have it in his hand.
David, is that you?
Has that lost forward?
Down, his hands are still on it there. I would be very surprised if he doesn't
Yes,
give the
David,
try.
I can hear you. And they award a try, thank you.
Thank you.
Well done, Hugh Bladen.
Well, that is a telling blow because Montgomery now has the conversion to come to put South Africa into the lead for the first time. So after some years in the doldrums in terms of scoring tries, Brayton has now become a factor.
And he's made the tackle, which is the key. Of course, the ball bouncing around nicely. Percy doing well to control it. The little inside ball. And Pulsar just too quick for Tuatupo.
This is going to be missing. So back to the situation, just 1 point in it. We have another 11 minutes as a good pass again. Conradi did well there. Great work by Montgomery.
Well read by Montgomery. Realised he wasn't going to get there. Umaga had him covered. A little pop inside. Brayton Pulsar made it to the line. Only just.
So this time Mertens goes open side. Rokethoko and de Barry Pulsar. South Africa back on the run. This is Gerrie Brits. He's a good athlete as Brits now lays it back. Joe van Niekerk is there. They need to keep up the momentum. They could move it left here. They'd have an overlap. They've lost it forward. Advantage to the All Blacks. Good work by Mialamu, but it was knocked on. It looked like there by Heyman. Still they play on Marshall too.
On forward here.
The referee. Now, is that a knock on?
On forward here.
Oh, it's gone forward and so it's South Africa's ball. I thought that the South Africans had knocked it on.
Forward here.
Well, no doubt the Kiwis knocked it on. The question is, did South Africa knock it on before? Coming out of... most of the run seemed to knock it out the hands. Heyman couldn't control it. Great South African attacking options there now.
Well, there goes Van Niekerk again at Mertens. Wriggles away from him. John O'Gibbs eventually gets him, but they're committing the All Black defence. Worked down by Victor Matfield. Conradi, Van der Westhuizen, and Barry's through the gap. He's got to get it to Hubert. Try number 2 for the big centre. Try number 3 for South Africa. The Paarl boys are in unison.
Marius Hubert in for his second. It's the angles the South African backs are running at the moment. Dummy runners coming around the back, creating all sorts of chaos in this New Zealand backline, really. Tuatupo leaving there. Ola couldn't get there. And well offloaded by David Barry. Great try.
Well, what is really causing problems for the All Blacks is the factor of Joe van Niekerk off the back of the scrum. He did it again. Monty has converted. He didn't connect that as well as he probably would have liked, but that is the extra 2 points. South Africa lead. We've got 9 minutes left in the first half.
Well, this is a new 10-12 combination for New Zealand. Mertens and Tuatupo replacing Spencer and Carter, being really found out by South African backs that are running at pace, at great angles, and as you said, Joe van Niekerk really getting the Springboks over the gain line, getting them go forward ball.
You see, he's getting away from the left flank of the All Blacks and then running onto Mertens, which is committing their whole backline to a sort of non-uniform defence. So 3 tries to South Africa. Barry, pressure there from Umanga. It's gone forward, advantage to the All Blacks. Mertens away to Mialamu, who, well, it was knocked forward by David Barry, so the All Blacks will have the advantage with the put in.
Just looking at the way the All Blacks are playing at the moment, I've got a feeling they're a little worried about the South African defence. Seem to be trying to move the ball away from contact situations, away from the collisions, and a lot of looking up to see where the tackle is coming from.
Stay. Let's have it again, guys. guys.
Well, South Africa disrupting that All Black
Let's have it again here.
scrum. I know that you guys in Boots and All said the other day, you get so concentrated on doing the move from the scrum that the forwards forget to hold it steady, and it happened there. Look at that, just 3 put-ins to the scrum for the All Blacks.
12 scrums altogether, though. That's quite a few scrums already.
Rush for Holler, Marshall, that's a good move. Well, read there by Brayton Paulsers. Berger goes to ground, now it's Marshall again. Jack, stopped by Bakkies Botha, who's up to contesting against Chris Jack. Mertens, Tuipupa, great tackle by Barry. Gubert is in there quickly, but the referee says play on. Now Mertens, wide for Mailing, Mertens again. And Rokotoko, and he makes some ground as Rokotoko, he always does, the big winger. Eventually brought to ground by Stockberger. Marshall, this is a good build-up by the All Blacks. It's Rush down the short side. Rush is bumping tacklers off, and the touch judge's flag is up. Now it's South Africa's ball, but a great build-up, that by the All Blacks. You know, the All Blacks have this uncanny ability, when you score against them, they just come dashing back at you.
Well, again, it's the All Blacks backline playing very flat indeed. Tuipupa getting man and ball. This was about the 3rd or 4th phase on from that. And again, the big fella Rokotoko, too much pace, too much power. Rush tried to stay in the field there, and Brayton Pulse again making a tackle. And Bakkies Botha getting him into touch. But the rush defence of the South African backline, very, very effective at the moment. Kiwi's trying to play flat, getting man and ball out wide. Not really adapting to the defence at the moment. Bet Barry certainly does read the situation well. Every now and then he comes up very quickly indeed and makes the big tackle.
Gerrie Brits, first line out take for him. Now it's Stockberger. South Africa just try and create a little bit of room for the defensive kick. Van der Westhuizen. It's also come a little off the side of the boot, so South Africa are just on the 22, All Black throw in. And the other thing is, the alternative to Mertens at fly half in the All Black setup is Aaron Major. Mertens, and we talked about that triangle of convenience, almost of safety, that Mertens likes to play in, and South Africa making full store of it. Joel.
Well, he's not playing in it at the moment, is he? Lost ball from the Kiwi line-out, well contested by South Africa.
John Smith with a burst away on advantage. Can they produce it quickly enough? Van der Westhuizen, Montgomery was up in the other fly half position to the left. That's a much better kick by Van der Westhuizen, quickly in by Rokotoko. Muliaina, Howlett. Barry has him covered. Now it's Umanga, he's knocked it forward. Big bump there by David Barry. Well, you know, he was going, running for the ball. Big bump there by Marius Joubert, rather. He's a big man, Marius Joubert.
Well, the problem for Tana Umanga, he was trying to get back. The pass was in front. He couldn't get forward again. Made the knock on. Marius Joubert, the little push. Tana Umanga looking a little worse for wears at the moment. Got some marks on the one side of his face there, and certainly not looking at all confident. Pretty inexperienced as a captain. The question is, what is he going to say and do to get his team out of this little conundrum they're in?
Straight down goes Case Muse. You see that tap on the back there from the tight forwards, and that's Case Muse who went to ground. Good work by Eddie Andrews, and Monty is within kicking range. Just 4 minutes left before half time, and this would be just the boost that South Africa need.
Well, the problem is the angle that Case Muse is in at. At that angle, with his left shoulder as a loose head facing inwards, he's got nowhere else to go but down to the ground.
I think the penalty probably came, Joel, because once he was turned in, then he pushed, and that is against the laws.
And of course the pressure then, there's nowhere for it to go really, except onto the opposition hooker. Not only is it against the laws, it can be quite dangerous at times.
2 out of 5. 2 out of 6 it is now. So
kicking
that's
worse for Monty.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about the game from a kicking point of view. Mertens hasn't missed yet. Monty has missed 11 points of the boot.
Conradi, Van der Westhuizen. Runs it up. There's a little bit of space. Depends on the bounce. It's tapped into... No, it wasn't tapped into touch. That was a venturous play there by Mulyaina. Now it's Howlett. Simon Mailing, stopped by Bakkies Buerta. All Blacks controlling well. Burger again, his work rate is incredible. Advantage to the All Blacks. Marshall, Mertens is skipped to Bumanga, Mertens. And it will be a penalty to the All Blacks. Marshall takes quickly, as he is wont to do. Mialamu. He needs watching, does Kevin Mialamu on the run. Low centre of gravity. Mertens nearly intercepted by Jean de Villiers. This is Jono Gibbs as they play the advantage for the All Blacks. John de Villiers got back and did some good defence. Now it's Marshall for Mertens. Away to... and Doug Howlett knocked it on. That's uncharacteristic.
Well, he's knocked it on with an open try line, I've got to say. Scott Burger was coming across, but the pace of Howlett might have been far too much. The All Blacks almost playing touch with 7 aside here. And look at this, the good quick hands. Oh, well, I think the pass wasn't meant for Howlett. I think he knew he needed to get it. It was aimed at one of the big fellas, Chris Jack, I think, on the outside. What a first half it's been. It's hard to believe it's nearly finished.
Let's have it in. Let's have it in, please. Break it up, please. Break it up, please. Break it up, please. Let's have the bind up. Back you come, please, in here. Let's have it in. 9, let's have it in quickly. And engage. Let's have it in, please.
So you see the All Blacks just moving that left shoulder. Conradi change of tactics. Offside, number 7, Marty Holler came, I think, probably off the side of the scrum too early. So we're into the referee's optional time. At half-time, Garth Wright and Nas Buerta will be analysing the first half statistics. And Jake White, what moments. This is going to be 40 minutes of pure hell for Jake White.
I think for every coach it's 80 minutes of pure hell.
Quite right, John.
Problems at scrum time for the All Blacks.
Victor Matfield, Conradi, Barry. There goes the siren for half-time. Holler makes the tackle. Okay, it's almost turned over there. Marshall, no, it went forward. If Marshall had got that without it going forward, it would have been trouble for South Africa. But they fought back after 6 minutes. They were 10 points to 0 down, and the South Africans have scored those 3 tries and have fought back to 19 points to 13 in the lead. It is going to be 40 minutes of nail-biting stuff as we get ready to return to Randburg for the half-time break. Remember the stats. So it will be Mertens to kick off for these tense 40 minutes. Well played there by John Smith.
And away 7 Black, away 7 Black. Stay.
Conradi, Van der Westhuizen.
Get out of there quicker, 7, okay, get out of there quicker.
Oh, it was a good connection by Jaco van der Westhuizen up to the halfway line.
A little lucky there for the Springboks. Didn't control the kickoff all that well, got away with it. And a good clearance. The one thing you did mention was the bonus point. And of course, in this whole scheme of things, winning the Tri-Nations, South Africa score another try and they get that bonus point. No one else has got a win bonus point yet. That is a massive, massive advantage.
Well taken by Gibbs, Marshall, Mertens, Umanga. Good tackle by Burger in midfield. Penalties. Here the DeVet Barry penalised. The referee shouting roll away. And this is within range for Andrew Mertens.
Quite clearly not for rolling away. You'd be thinking he's got to really have a shot at goal, wouldn't you? And that's exactly what he's going to do.
Interesting, a little discussion there between Marshall and Umanga.
Well, Umaga carried it up there, and you can see David Berry was down on one knee, he's still playing the ball. And quite obviously, when you're down on one knee, you're deemed to be on the ground, you can't play the ball. And the technical term is not rolling away. And again, Marshall, certainly one of the 3 out of 3 for Mertens, and his halfback partner, Marshall, one of the most experienced players of all time, really. Having a little word with Tana Umaga, helping with the decision, and they've certainly got it right.
And that's a great strike by Andrew Mertens. It really is a good kick. We have a 3-point difference.
Perfect start to the second half for the All Blacks. 2 minutes in, and they've reduced the deficit just to 3 points. Which is quite amazing, really, when you look at the stats and how little they've got over the gain line and possession territory. They're pretty lucky to be in it. And bearing in mind that Montgomery's left 11 points out there.
Rokethoko goes at Smitten, Matfield, Marshall, Mertens. That's not going to be out. Van der Westhuizen anticipated well. Montgomery in the middle of the field. Now it's another one for Rokethoko, who's a little bit dodgy under these balls. Did he call for a mark? No, he didn't. And Matfield brings him to ground again. Rush, stopped by Wosturant. Marshall, Tui Tupo. Eventually it's Fanikak who has hold of him, but Tui Tupo's ripped away. Tremendous run by the little centre. Marshall, Mertens. Worked back by Rush. Good defence this time by Fanikak as he bundles the ball carrier into touch.
Good tackle, great enterprising play. Bolo-Conradi is waving frantically toward the bench.
Bolo-Conradi has a problem.
Tua Tupo, look at him go. Missed tackles here. He's got away from everyone. So strong on his feet. He's not a big guy, he's not a heavy guy, but he does have a low centre of gravity and tremendous power.
Well, now they're waiting to see. Bolo-Conradi is down. He was frantically waving to the first aid people. And Farid Prier is up and warming up.
Well, he's nodding his head. And sad luck, sad news for Bolo-Conradi. Farid Prier makes his way back onto the field. He'd be feeling a little unlucky to have been left out in the first place. But he's got 37 minutes to have a big impact on this game.
So Farid Prier wins his 7th cap. That's bad luck for Bolo-Conradi, who's had a pretty useful game. His service has been crisp. Once again, we'll have a look and see if the All Blacks contest the line out. Not too much of it. Well done by Bakkies Botha. They're alternating between Botha and Matfield. Very little ball going to the back of the lineup. Du Preez finds a little bit of spaced out that short side. And
holding here, release it. You're isolated.
Well, the
release.
problem is when you go alone like that, you do often get isolated. He's had a good dart.
well, there's another problem here, Joel, for South Africa. Jean de Villiers has got up very slowly. Now, I reckon this is within Mertens' range. And so he is going to kick for posts.
Well, bear in mind it's in the corner. You can probably add on about another 8 or 10 meters from the halfway line. This is where the penalty came. And now clearly hands on the ball, entitled to play. And Farid Debris not releasing. Good play from John O'Gibbs.
You see already there, Jean de Villiers is unhappy. But he is up and back in position.
And this kick must be all of 58, 59 meters, I would think.
Well, if he kicks this over, it will be a magnificent kick. The strike is good, but the swerve is just a bit out. He did have the distance. Neatly tidied up by Montgomery.
Well, it's a great strike, isn't it? He's obviously just pulled it a little bit, but a great strike. And obviously, big message to the South African team there. Don't give away any more penalties.
Behind him, please.
Well, the kickoff will be taken again. It's good to see the All Black supporters here. I know there are a number of supporters groups here. So again, Van der Westhuizen goes deep more successfully. Muliaina. Wall of South African defenders are there now.
Obstruction here.
And so it's a free penalty to South Africa in a kickable position for Montgomery. Muliaina just ducked back on the inside, and sometimes it's almost unintentional, but it is penalisable.
Well, Chris Jack really... You got to feel for Chris Jack, although the law application is probably right. For the big fella, there's not really a whole lot of place to go when someone's running like that. And clearly he got in the way of Bokke, who was trying to get forward and make the tackle.
So the pressure building on Percy Montgomery, just a third of his kicks successful. Still just the 2 steps at the ball. And that looks like it's a pretty good one. That's better by Percy Montgomery.
22 points to 16.
Matfield.
Stay black.
Dupreer, Van der Westhuizen.
With quite possibly his best kick for the touchline all season. From relatively no angle, he's kicked a fantastic kick. And look at that, perfectly struck, sweet torpedo. Great kick.
Well, it just shows that he can kick the ball a long, long way. Mailing, Mialamu, Marshall, Holla.
No real conviction from the ball carriers and runners in this All Black team right now.
Marshall, and the penalty will be for the All Blacks. Offside, and Victor Matfield also guilty of tackling the man without the ball.
Andrew Mertens should have the distance from here again.
Manga just asking the referee to watch for some infringement that he feels the Springboks are committing.
That's twice you've done that, okay? There's absolutely no need for it. If I give a penalty, you just leave the ball. Don't play it. Okay, thank you.
And something off the ball there, or after the whistle had gone. I fancy the first time was Maurice Jabir down on this touchline, probably not so much to Vet Barry. Interesting move here, the All Blacks are kicking it down there.
Well, it's a good kick by Mertens, but it is an interesting move because, you know, they took that one from the far touchline.
Who's the receiver on your
You can see where Matfield is, he's way offside. Now, what Vet Barry did was he got the ball and then threw it away. You see, he won't let them have the ball. And that's what the referee was talking to Barry about.
And of course, if you're the All Blacks and you want to play quickly each time, he's really stopping you playing the game.
This is a strong maul by the All Blacks. And this good shot back by South Africa, but now the ball is just popped out of that maul, and the referee said it went forward, and so they will scrum down.
It's gone forward here.
Went forward, so they will scrum.
Here off black. Green put in. Wait, no ball. Crouch and hold. Engage. Let's have it in, please.
I lost a run, did well.
Well, a bit of a wheel there, picked up by Joe van Niekerk under pressure quickly there by the All Blacks.
That's not coming, it's a black put in.
Well, there's going to be a little fight here between Skalkberger and Mialamu.
Stay away.
Just had a little off the ball scuffle there, nothing too serious.
Okay, 2 and 6. back. 6. No, it's okay. 6. 6. Okay. Guys. Just calm down.
Just a little word from the referee there. Let's get on with the game.
Time off, please.
Scott Berger didn't like getting rucked out, I think, or cleaned out from where he was lying. Joe Fanica, well, he's made 50 minutes, he's now cramping, it looks like.
Yeah, and it's really something that South Africa don't need at the moment. They need Joe Fanica on there for, if not the entire match, certainly another 20-25 minutes.
Well, there were always going to be doubts about his fitness, how long he would last. I think Jake would have liked to probably get 60 or 65 out of him.
Stay bound 6.
So it's a good scrum by the All Blacks, controlled by Rush. They'll scrum down again.
We can't, fellas, here. Black put in.
Scrum's been a little bit messy this afternoon. A lot of penalties, a lot of reset scrums.
Wait, please. Crouch and hold. Engage.
Now let's see if South Africa can apply the pressure. Free kick to the All Blacks. Pushing too early, I think, by decision by the referee.
Scrum here.
So they decide to go with the scrum again.
I want it steady, please. No, back off, please. Crouch and hold.
The All Blacks with their back line out. Rokethoko is hovering behind Mertens. Rush controlling. Now they must stay bound. It's another strong scrum by the All Blacks.
Well, the Springboks trying to wheel it. The All Blacks obviously not wanting it to wheel, trying to keep it straight, even breaking off rather than wheeling. But again, messy scrum.
Crouch and hold. Okay. Green on me. Free kick, Green on me. Crouch and hold. Engage. Have it in, please.
Rush, good tackle by Berger. Rush has controlled it well. Now the All Blacks just shielding the ball. Jack Mertens. There's Rokethoko and he's through! Rokethoko is such a potent weapon. I said he was lurking behind Mertens and he crashed through the defence.
Well, I think we're going to see this as a move that Peter Rousseau used to score a try against New Zealand once. The All Blacks have used it to their best advantage. Well, almost. A little ball behind the back there. And Rokethoko, too big, too strong, and under the poles he goes. Mertens held it up well, yeah, the little dummy. Oh, and both Barry and the Westhuizen couldn't hang on.
So a simple conversion for Mertens puts the All Blacks back in the lead. But there's just 1 point in it.
Ton Umaga came running in on the little angle, trying to suck the defenders, at least get them to hesitate. It worked perfectly. Rokethoko found some space and over he went.
So it's been a much better start in terms of territorial situation for the All Blacks in this second half. Mailing.
Stay on, Green. Stay, Green. Back you go. Back you go, Green.
Seems to be a better control by the All Blacks. They have played it tighter. Still they maul it up by Marty Holler. Mertens had to step inside there and has kicked it out on the full. He's uncomfortable when the defence is moving up quickly on him.
Well, I think he wanted to actually run that one, and he just got caught in no man's land. Had to step back onto the left foot. He's pretty, he's not really deep enough to be in a kicking position and not really flat enough to play the running game. That comfort zone you spoke about earlier is maybe where he's just sitting on the wrong side of the comfort zone.
Matfield, no frills at the moment by the South African line-out men. Barry, Van der Westhuizen, Polsa, Hubert, Monty's there as well. Cuts inside the first tackler. Still has the ball.
No, the ball's ripped away.
It's been ripped away from him. Marshall and it's worked out by Holler. Another little mistake by the All Blacks there as Mialamu goes to ground with it. The referee saying play on Marshall. Mertens, danger here for South Africa. Muliaina, Jack. Bokke is there too. Well, Muliaina has made a little bit of ground and secured the ball. But the South Africans will want to hold this up.
Hands off, Green! Hands off,
It's a ruck now, hands off. Marshall, Mertens, Howlett, Umanga, Tuipuo without a number. Barry goes into him. Tuipuo is really proving a handful to bring down. You've got to almost go down at the ankles.
Okay.
Marshall, Van der Westhuizen did good work. Well played by Jakob van der Westhuizen. Got onto Marshall as he whipped his hands back.
Man, it was good hands from the All Blacks there. You can see the All Blacks really trying to get the ball away quickly, not interested in the contact or the collision, but Tuipuo so strong on his feet. And Jakob van der Westhuizen did well. Tackled the man's arms, really, which caused the ball to be dislodged.
But again, this attention for cramp for Joe van Niekerk.
Well, you can only wonder how much longer he can go. Matt Field in the same boat, really. Coming back from injuries. Jake White sending some instructions down to the bench.
Case Muse, who was also receiving attention.
And hold. Engage. Let's have it in, please. Let's have it in. Let's have it again, fellas, here. Let's have it again here.
Well, the scrums have been a bit of a mess this afternoon. Quite a number of reset scrums.
12 in all, that is a huge amount, and obviously something the RB have tried to adjust the rules to get away from. Big scrum from the All Blacks.
Dupree, Barry, Van der Westhuizen, Muliaina. Well, that little slip could cost him. He's hoofed it down into midfield. Dupree, Montgomery. Going for the long ground finder, but it's Howlett, Mertens, and he's giving that a huge thump, and it's Montgomery who is back there. Can he send it back with a bit of interest? Plenty of time. Hasn't connected it in torpedo fashion, but it's just inside the All Black half.
And it's out. And it's out. Pretty much like tennis. The All Blacks are away with a quick throw.
Here goes Rokethoko again. Great tackle by Barry. Bokke is there quickly. And the crowd baying for a penalty. Hands by South Africa. They won't be. Oh, well, the referee indicating.
Back you go. Hands
The referee indicated the South African way that hands were in, so I thought he'd penalised South Africa and couldn't believe that. But it's a penalty to South Africa in a position to regain the lead.
Well, it's Muliaina who's playing the ball on the floor there. He's made no effort to get to his feet. He was one of the ruckers. A little bit strange there. Rokethoko tried to come around the corner. First he took on Brayton Paulser. He was totally isolated. Should really have gone back towards support. Maybe a little bit of inexperience showing there.
This for a 2-point lead. It's swinging in. It's over!
Seemed to hang out outside that left-hand upright for ages. Finally around it came. Montgomery's got 4 out of 8. And South Africa back in front.
Well, we're moving into a position now where coaches must be thinking about replacements. 22 minutes left. Berger. Smith runs it. John O'Gibbs.
It's coming. It's coming. There it is.
Well, it's come on the All Black side. Mialamu.
Up here, fellas, please. We've got a flag.
We've got a flag. I know what we've got a flag for, and that's for mountaineering. Be interesting here, Mark Lawrence. Were those men rucking near the ball, and you can't run on the spot on top of a man.
Yes, man.
Rucking, mountaineering, just slip on the player's back, and don't attempt to play the ball.
Number who?
Number 6.
Number 6, black. Here. Okay. 6, black.
You see, the law says you have to have the studs of your boots actually facing backwards, and he was running on the spot on top of
away
a
from the
player.
ball. Illegal use of the boot. It's a penalty against you.
Well, you look at that look from Tana Umanga at Mark Lawrence.
You can almost tell what they're thinking. Hometown touch, Judge. He's just giving us one.
Montgomery. And that's a super kick.
This is the mountaineering. John Gibbs it is. It does always amaze me when you mountaineer on someone how quickly the ball comes out.
Wait, please. Black 7. Okay.
Well, substitution now. Marty Hollow's coming off the field. Duprier, Barry. Again, he gets past Mertens. Van der Westhuizen couldn't hold on. Came to his chest almost suddenly, but it was a golden opportunity for the Springboks. David Barry running at Andrew Mertens and getting by him.
On the touch, Judge, please. On the touch, Judge.
Well, he's got by a couple of players there. Yuck, Van der Westhuizen couldn't hang on. The pass came very hard into the chest area.
Balls away. Balls away. Crouch and hold. Engage.
20 minutes to go. 25-23, South Africa lead.
Mertens from Rush. Howlett. Oh, good work there by Jean de Villiers. He just wanted that ball to stay. And Jean de Villiers read the situation extremely well.
And again, the Rush defence paying dividends. All Blacks had numbers on the outside, just couldn't get the ball away.
Wait for me, please.
You see David Barry too. David Barry stopped Mertens dead, so that was important. Newby just winning his second test cap. Barry, Hubert, Bolses on the outside. But can he get it away? No, it's grabbed there by Umanga. And away goes Tui Tupo. This well done by Joe Fanika, because Tui Tupo moves over the All Black 22 and hands in by South Africa. You heard the referee shouting hands away. And possibly the Springboks not reacting quite quickly enough.
Well, Joe Fanika may have been the man who gave the penalty away, but he made a possible try-saving, match-saving tackle there. Tui Tupo had plenty of space in front of him. Joe got him just by the jersey, dragged him back.
Oh, it's a magnificent kick by Andrew Mertens.
Now that was Big Joe pulling him down. He got down there, he tried to contest for the ball. He's off his feet now and he's still hands on. Oh, and he just picks it up.
Well, interesting that Bakkies Boerte is coming off. AJ Venter comes on to replace him. So Gerrie Brits will probably move into the lock position. Competition by South Africa, tidied up by Jack. He's stopped by Gerrie Brits, well laid back by Jack Marshall. Mertens goes for the bomb, and Montgomery must get off the ground. Well, did he knock it forward? Yes, he did, said the referee, and so it's a good scrum position for the All Blacks.
Andrew Mertens with the up and under, and look where it came down, 1 meter outside the 22. Absolutely perfect. Montgomery forced to jump, couldn't hold on to it. And it's definitely lost forward there.
So another replacements coming on aplenty here. It's Somerville coming on, Tui Ali'i. And so Somerville will move into the front row. Tui Ali'i, who had that huge impact in the Super 12, off goes Rush and Case Muse.
Here's your mark there, please. Time on. Crouch. Crouch and hold. Engage. Have it in, please.
Now Tui Ali'i is also dangerous off the back of the scrum. Gets it away to Mertens. For Muliaina and Howlett.
Advantage.
Marshall, that's where you say dangerous. Good tackle by Fanikar.
Stay, Green.
Umanga, this is good build-up by the All Blacks. Muliaina, another telling
Hands off,
tackle,
Green.
that time by
Hands
Victor
off,
Matfield. Tui Tupou is able to make a little bit of space. He's really been a thorn in the side of the South Africans' defences. That's good driving back penalty to New Zealand.
6 Green at the scrum. 6 Green at the scrum.
So it's Skalkberger who is pointed out by the referee, and a
Green
kickable
unbound at the
position
scrum.
for Andrew
No
Mertens.
advantage.
And not bound all the way back there at the scrum.
Peter.
Oh, this is going to be an absolute nail-biter. Mertens will have the shot. It's pretty good hands in the New Zealand backline getting it out there. And the experience of Justin Marshall. Big Joe Fanikar, who's been cramping for 10 or 12 minutes. Did well to make the tackle. Mertens with the penalty. No
No
mistake.
problem.
26-25, it's the All Blacks who lead.
Van der Westhuizen. Marshall. Rokothoko. Well, they've got to take him down quicker than that as Eddie Andrews goes in. Has he secured it? Beautiful work by him. Berger. Now it's Van der Westhuizen. Bit of an overlap here. Barry. Hubert. Barry doubled around. Van der Westhuizen's done well. Oh, it's a big hit there on Van der Westhuizen by John O'Gibbs, but this is a better build-up by South Africa. Hands away black, says the referee. Farid de Preur goes in to dig for it. Comes for Skalkberger. Gets it to Victor Matfield. The big question now is, can they control the possession? Good drive through the middle of the ruck. And that's okay, says the referee, as Mia Lamu knocked it out of Farid de Preur's hands, but knocked it forward. So it's a good scrum position for South Africa. Will they use Fanikar?
Well, Eddie Andrews did well, really. He was responsible for winning the ball for South Africa, but it's Matfield who's down again. Big Rokothoko, off he goes. He does get isolated, though. Eddie Andrews did really well, and good discipline from Rokothoko to actually release the ball, rather concede possession than the 3 points.
See Skalkberger going through there. Now the ball comes, and Miolamu judged to have knocked it forward as he knocked it out of Farid de Preur's hands.
No, wait, please. Wait. No, wait, stand up. Stand up, please. Scrum half. Scrum half.
So what will the tactic be now? Van der Westhuizen to the left of the scrum. Marius Joubert to the right, and almost directly behind it. The referee just tied in himself up.
Thank you.
Well, he came along to be a touch judge. He's ended up working quite hard for his money
Wait for me,
today.
please.
Well, I was told by Gabriel Papas, the Secretary of Referees here at Ellis Park, that they,
Break it up, please.
funnily enough,
Break it up,
decided
please.
to wire
5,
Mark Lawrence
6.
up just in case.
Crouch and
So
hold.
they
Engage.
proved
Have
correct.
it in, please. Stay.
There's Van Niekerk looking for it, de Preur, and it's Marius Joubert. Now Jean de Villiers hasn't had too much of the ball today.
Stay.
De Preur, Gerrie Brits. Big drive in there by the Springbok forwards. They need to release it as quickly as possible. A lot of complaining going on, and tackle balls South
Tackle
Africa's.
situation, it's okay. Green put in. Up you get. No, not coming from there.
One of the Kiwis thought about using the stats again, decided against it after Mark Lawrence's last intervention.
Wait for me, please, yeah.
Maurice Joubert came around the
Down
corner
parallel,
place. What
please.
was most impressive there? It
Crouch
looked
and
like
hold.
The Springboks wheel the scrum to the left intentionally and then play to the right side, or to the left side I should say, but with the wheel.
They do it again. Marius Joubert has gone through one tackle, looking for a hat-trick. Jean de Villiers! And the referee wants the television match official to give a call in here. Marius Joubert so nearly in for his third try.
Well, a replica of the move before. Marius Joubert threw the pass last time. He dummied this time. Found the space. There's big celebrations in the South African camp.
Can you hear me?
And of course this would be the bonus point as well.
David, can you hear me? David, can you check the grounding of the ball for
Well,
me?
that looks like it's grounded.
Well, that's a try. Jean de Villiers, his fourth try, the bonus point for South Africa. We haven't had the decision yet, but the referee now gives it the try. Bonus point to South Africa. Jean de Villiers gets his fourth in his fifth test. And South Africa lead by 4 points. Here we go. Dupree. Now Marius Joubert uses his power, gets away from Marshall. Lovely pop-up for Jean de Villiers.
Exactly the same move done a little earlier. And this time Marius Joubert threw the dummy. I think he'd have been thinking, do it again, because first time round I should have thrown the dummy. And Percy Montgomery to add the two.
And that's wide by Montgomery. It was a kick that could have put South Africa to the 5-point lead.
And that's a great little offload. Marius Joubert with the intelligence to pop it up. Good following up from Jean de Villiers. Substitutions though. Big Joe finally making way.
Well, he's had a super game, Joe van Niekerk, but on comes a very able replacement in Jacques Renier. Of course, that kick could have taken it away to a 6-point lead. Good maul this by South Africa. Now, will they be able to last out in the altitude situation better than the All Blacks? Van der Westhuizen. Well taken by Tuyili Mulia Lena. Good tackle by Barry DeVet. Barry's been fantastic on defence in midfield. Two-pose there. Holding penalty to South Africa. The Springboks' arms go up in the air. And the pressure builds even further on Percy Montgomery.
Well, it's been the story of the day, really. The Kiwis, when the ball's been kicked on them, it's been one-off runners carrying it up, and the supporters very slow to get there. Liaina definitely holding it on. And Donald Courtney with no option but to give away the penalty. This would make it a 7-point game.
Well, with 12 minutes to go to make it a 7-point game, it is such a vital one. I mean, he's had just about every kick is vital, but the pressure just mounts and mounts and mounts. Look at the people behind the goal posts. 33 points to 26 it is. Well, you can see the tension, you can see the joy. Gerry Brits is there, shows John O'Gibbs to the All Blacks. Here goes Chris Jack. The All Blacks will move up a gear here, you can be assured of that, as Marshall goes. Good tackle by Jacques Renier. Now South Africa apply the pressure. Can they turn this over? Penalty to South Africa. Oh, you see that Jacques Renier. Now Greg Somerville is the man who is holding on now.
Skipper!
Don't want to get too carried away now, do the Springboks.
Don't need him inciting anybody by going up and tapping him on the head. That's unsportsmanlike. Don't do it again. Don't do it again.
That's all you can say to that is, sorry, sir.
Well, I think I quite like that. I quite like that, to tell a player he's being not being very sporting, and if he's not being very sporting, that's off to Donald Courtney. In fairness, though.
No, you're quite right.
In fairness, a little tap on the head's not too serious, but if it's not sporting, it's not sporting.
And so onto the field comes CJ van der Linde. He wins his 7th cap. Horst Durant leaves the scene. 10 minutes to go. Look at the big man, the only survivor of the 1995 World Cup, as is Andrew Mertens on the All Black side. Ferry Brits, good competition by John O'Gibbs. Jacques Renier went in there quickly. Hands away Black. It comes for Madfield, Van der Westhuizen, Barry runs at Mertens again. You see they get 3 meters past Andrew Mertens. In goes AJ Venter. Van der Westhuizen on the left-hand side of the mall. Burger. Good defense by the All Blacks. Still Dupree plays the short side. Jacques Renier is a big fella. He's the Blue Bulls number 8. Dupree once again. Van der Westhuizen. Smith bashes away at that defense. Good tackle there by Carl Heyman. Now it's Burger up over the 22. The crowd get behind the green jerseys. Dupree goes at the All Blacks. Mayling does well to bring him down. Now it's Andrews, who's it's great pass by the tight head prop. Bang, in goes CJ van der Linde. Here goes Burger. Van der Westhuizen changes direction, looks at an opportunity as for Smith. Now Madfield will make ground. Victor Madfield stretches his legs. Jean de Villiers is nearly there. Must produce the ball for South Africa. Farida Dupree is there. Move it wide and there could be trouble here for the All Blacks. They've got tight forwards in midfield. It's moved wide to van der Linde again. Gets past Mertens. Nearly over the line. Good work there by Smith as it comes again. Now for Javette Barry. Oh, Rokothoko knocked it on. It should have been a try for South Africa. The advantage to South Africa. Quickly by Farida Dupree. He decides to go to Montgomery. Barry swirling away from Tupa. In go the South Africans. Still advantage. There it is, says the referee. They're out wide, lining up for the South Africans. They bash away again by Trenier. Laid back, hands away Black. In goes Ferry Brits. Now it's Brayton Paulson. Nearly over the line. Marius Shapiro's knocked it on. And it's a try gone a big in by South Africa. Rokothoko. Well, I tell you, he pulled off it.
Well, if he'd hang on, it was a 14-point swing.
Yeah, you're right.
He read it well. He went for the intercept. Got fingertips to it, couldn't hang on. If he'd missed it, it was a try, 7 points for South Africa, and if he'd caught it, it was 7 points for New Zealand. Justin Marshall being replaced, he's looking a little dejected. 8 minutes to go, this is where it came.
Yeah, unfortunately, Javette Barry just held on 2 paces too long. And Rokothoko did it. Now Byron Kelleher on the field. Saw him at Eden Park against South Africa. He was voted man of the match. Had an outstanding game when the All Blacks beat South Africa in 2000. Free kick, off goes Kelleher. They must watch out for Rokothoko here. Kelleher showing some pace. Comes forward to Tuiali'i. Still he goes. He's a big man, is Tuiali'i. Kelleher, Mertens. Flat again go the All Blacks, and the Springboks up again in quick defence. Kelleher, Mertens, switch to Umanga. Little flick up for Chris Jack as the All Blacks start to build out of their 22. Let it go green, says the ref. Here goes Kelleher. Umanga couldn't hold on, play on its advantage. South Africa need to tackle. Well done by Jacques Renier. Still comes for the All Blacks. They've got men aplenty lining up here. Chris Jack picks up. Low goes Barry. Here goes Mialamu. This is problems here for South Africa. And Paulson made a telling tackle there. Referee says play on. Has South Africa turned this over? Monty goes in to try and grab the ball, and it's black ball.
Well, I think Brayton Paulson's turned that over and been held up in the mall. Well, Kevin Mialamu could have released that ball. There were 7 or 8 All Blacks queuing up to score. Brayton Paulson did very well indeed here. Wrapped him up, stopped the pass gang, got to his feet. Oh, he was on his knee, but he got to his feet anyway. And wrapped up, and there's quite a few players down there now. Well, the crowd hopefully not celebrating prematurely. 33 points to 26, 6.5 minutes to go. 5.5 minutes to go.
Well, there's water and first aid men and everything happening here. The clock has stopped with 7 minutes to go on the scoreboard.
Wait for me, please. Crouch and hold.
Now they've left a lot of space on the left side of the scrum here, have the All Blacks. As Farid Priya goes in and makes it difficult for Tuili. Great play by Brayton Paulser and Gerrie Brits. Now Rokothoko drives in. Good work by AJ Fenter. Here goes Victor Madfield.
There it is, come and stay.
Duprier, Van der Westhuizen, Andrews. Doesn't need to be isolated. Away, says the referee. Comes there for Duprier. Now DeVet Barry goes at the gap. Good defence by the All Blacks.
There it is. Stay back.
Comes again here for Farid Duprier. And it's with Van der Westhuizen. That's not a bad little kick by Van der Westhuizen. Depends on the bounce. Muliaina, he may run it out. It's out to Doug Howlett, who's now made an awful hash of it. It's a knock-on. That could be a telling factor in this game. Doug Howlett, who has had very little of the ball, and he's knocked it on.
Well, that's a clever little kick from Van der Westhuizen. Muliaina knew he had to keep it alive. Threw the big ball into the middle and Howlett couldn't control it.
Blood replacement, please.
Well, it's Tui Tupa who will come on. Blood replacement, says the referee. And so onto the field will come, looks like Daniel Carter. No, it's Major. Look at that. He's got a very heavily bandaged knee. There's Tui Tupa, last year's All Black under-21 captain on his Aaron Major. And so now, what will the tactic be from this scrummage? 3/4 centre, 3/4 to both sides. Off goes Jacques Grenier, flips it to Marius Joubert. Marius Joubert, hat-trick, hat-trick, unbelievable! Only the second Springbok ever to score a hat-trick against the All Blacks. The last was Raymort.
And that is the ball game. Third try in this game. Oh, Jim Boy, over he goes. Jacques Grenier did well, came around the corner, Kane running at Andrew Mertens. The ball popped out, fortunately. And, well, Marius Joubert round the corner, over he goes.
Look at the fingers by Jean de Villiers. 3 fingers up in the air. 38, this for 40 for South Africa. Still the All Blacks rush it up. They never give up, the All Blacks. There are 4 minutes left on the clock.
40 points to 26. 2 tries could be a draw. Jacques Grenier came round the corner. Again, Mertens not making the tackle. Umaga ripped the ball out. Popped up nicely. And in went Joubert.
Well, there's no question that the Springboks have used the defensive incapabilities of Andrew Mertens. They've exposed that area for Farid Priya. Now they need to chase up in a line. Rokothoko, will that go over the goal line? Well, he's now got to play it. Steps away from Van der Linde, who was up there. Now he steps away from another. It's Victor Madfield. Eventually Duprier does bring him to ground.
There it is, it's coming. Get out of there.
Well, big run in there by Chris Jack. Green quickly taken by Mialamu. Desperate tackle by Victor Madfield, taken on by Kelleher, Mertens, and they're up there, tap on by there to Howlett, and now it's Umanga, danger for South Africa. The All Blacks never give up. Great pass there from Kelleher. Jack goes. If they produce the ball again, this could be a try. As Major decides to cut back infield. Telling tackle by Grenier. Chris Jack takes it on. Now the
Green.
All Blacks are lined out on both sides. Kelleher goes, pops it up for Nialamu. Good defence by South Africa. Brayton Paulser has done some wonderful defensive work in cleaning it up. They won't be unhappy with a scrum down. Wonderful build-up by the All Blacks.
I think if Aaron Major had passed the one outside, might have been all tickets for the Springboks in that instance. Tana Umaga having a go there, pushing the ball back, trying to keep it going. He did it well.
David.
And with only 1.5 minutes to go.
David, how much time do we have left?
Well, you can see how excited the fans are here at Ellis Park.
90 seconds, okay, thank you.
Springbok captain John Smith down there.
Well, I just was trying to hear what the referee said. Did he say 50 seconds or 1 minute 50 seconds? The major thing that the Springboks don't want is, and Australia don't want, is for the All Blacks to get a bonus point. The clock is stopped at 2 minutes. Here we go for the scrum. The South Africans quite rightly taking a little bit of a breather. Now it's time for the All Blacks to produce a move. They've got Major to the left of the scrum. Of course, the telling factor of Rokotoko out wide.
And of course, all this does really is eat the clock away. Springboks will be pretty happy with that. The All Blacks will want to get it in quickly.
Tuiali'i, and it's worked out by Newby. Look at that, Paulser's done it again. Brayton Paulser has done it about 4 or 5 times where he's come in and look at those little eyebrows raised as if it's me again. Hasn't had much of the ball.
2 from each side.
Well, the first 8 men have run onto the field in sort of early anticipation of the referee having blown the final whistle. There's still time to play as Hanyani Shimangi is about to go on. Now they say no, stay back. And Chris Jack moves backwards. Now they get it to John O'Gibbs. Nearly grabbed by Matfield. It's an untidy pass for Newby. Good tackle there by Gerrie Brits.
Away, Green.
Byron Kelleher, Mertens, flip to Kelleher, now it's Mailing, gets it to Major, again it's scrappy play, knocked on, has the hooter gone, the crowd is starting to celebrate. Kelleher came low to him. That's been the problem with the All Blacks today, is that their passing under pressure from that South African defence has been absolutely brilliant. The Springboks start celebrating as Hanyani Shimangi wins his 2nd cap, and John Smith moves to loose head prop.
Wait, stand up, please.
So Eddie Andrews had an outstanding game, leaves the field.
Wait, stand up, stand up. Wait, he's still not going. And engage.
The last time the All Blacks won here was in 1997. Dupree, there goes the siren. Van der Westhuizen will kick that far and wide into the grandstand. The celebrations will begin. 62,857 people here at Ellis Park witness a memorable win for South Africa. They've regained their pride, they've regained their confidence. And look at the All Blacks. I love the New Zealand attitude is absolutely fantastic.